Welcome back to another YouTube video, guys. Hope you're well and thank you for clicking on. But before we start, I just want to make something clear. I'm currently not well, so my voice will obviously sound croaky and you may hear a couple of voice cracks. But to start off this video, I said in my drip marketing video for Navia, if her kit was interesting, I will update you guys all on it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't wrong. And I'm surprised how accurate I actually was in my drip marketing video because I did not know a single thing about her. So Navia is a kit. It's quite a lot to take in, but it's something really cool. And I can say this to you now. Ito mains, you're going to be scared, you're going to be worried. As much as you may love him, he's power crept. Extremely power crept by Navia. Navia is looking really good at a C0, and I can confirm Navia is a main DPS. She can be a sub DPS, but her role as of right now is a main DPS. So she's looking really, really good. So unlike Ito, Navia actually scales an attack. She doesn't scale in defense percent. So that is one change that's quite unique because we had the defense percent husk artifact set in Inazuma, and Navia's swing and animations in her normal attacks. She has a couple animations where she throws her axe, which she has as a claymore, and she also throws and smacks and swings with her umbrella. So it's very, very unique, it's very creative, and I actually really love her animations. So moving on to her elemental skill. Her elemental skill deals a huge amount of geo damage, and geo infusion is present after her elemental skill. Now Navia in her elemental skill uses her umbrella as a gun and she shoots bullets. You can tap once to shoot one bullet, or the amount of bullets can differ depending on the shards via crystallized reactions picked up party members. So if you do an electro reaction with Geo, you create crystallized and you got crystal shards. Geo crystal reactions with pyro, electro, hydro, cryo, you know what I mean. No Nemo, no Dendro, those don't exist. So when she consumes maybe none, 1, 2, or 3 shards, she will shoot either 5, 7, 9, or 11 bullets depending on the amount of shards that you pick up. The more consistent you hit one opponent, you actually deal more damage. So in this example, 11 bullets would be dealing 200% damage. The buffs received for each shard when doing a crystallized reaction above 3 equal to an extra 15% damage. So this allows you to get an extra 45% damage increase, and it caps at 2, well, not even at, but 2 6 stacks, which is really nice. So we've spoken about her tap, how it shoots 1 bullet. Well, when you hold her E skill, okay, instead of shooting 1 bullet, she actually absorbs all the crystallized shards in front of her, and that absorb duration can be done for up to 5 seconds, and then when you release it, it will exactly work the same way as the tap, so it will just shoot a bullet. So that's really nice. Now her E skill cooldown is 9 seconds, and as of right now she has double skills, so double E skills at C0, but I believe that's subject to change because I personally don't think that's right to be able to have 2 E skills at C0. I feel like that's more of a constellation thing that you have with Yelan, where you have a C1 that would give you an external, or not an external, an extra E skill. But as of right now, her E skill's looking really fun, being able to absorb crystallize shards that are on the field and getting nice stacks, being able to shoot enemies. So that's really cool. I really like it. Now moving on to her burst. So elemental burst, when it comes to Navia, she summons an artillery barrage. So imagine as if it's an airstrike, right? You get cannons ready and it's prepared, lock and loaded. Well, this has a giant, I mean a large Geo AoE, dealing good damage. Now here's the thing, after dealing damage, it will deal damage every 1 second for 12 seconds. And this will give NAVIA, right, a stack every 2.4 seconds. So she can get a total of 5 stacks, right? So the way you would do this rotation when you're doing a team rotation, for example, you would use Navia's burst, then you would get the stacks, then you would use her elemental skill to obviously get her shards, and then you would use her burst again. So this is really fun. It looks really cool, and I really like the idea of Navia using her umbrella, having an artillery barrage as like an airstrike, which is really cool. And her cooldown for her burst is 15 seconds long, and her energy cost for her burst is 60 energy. Now, one thing to keep in mind about Navia, this is one thing that's important, her talents. Now, her A1 passive, when she uses her first attack, right, it converts her damage to have Geo Infusion. This isn't actually like translated correctly, so it could be after she's using her elemental skill and she goes ahead and she has Geo Infusion, because I personally don't believe she's gonna have Geo Infusion immediately. So I'm assuming that once she taps her E skill, it will give her Geo Infusion and she will have Geo Infusion in her normal attacks, and this increases damage by 40% for 4 seconds. Okay, and now her A2 passive, which is something that's really nice. Her A2 passive is she gains a 20% attack boost for each member of the party that is Pyro, that is Hydro, Electro, or Cryo, and this caps at 40%. So you only really need one other person who is of a different reaction. So not a different reaction, but of a different element, should I say. Now, that's really nice because it doesn't make you have to have constant, like, so many Geo characters, if that makes sense. You can have, 2 people that are maybe Hydro and Cryo, and then maybe one person that is also Geo as well, and a Navia in the team. So that looks really good. I really like that. And the downside with Navia, unfortunately, is that her multipliers don't look that great. Now, I don't believe she's going to receive any Daya treatment, but it doesn't look good. But you need to understand, this isn't factoring the buffs whatsoever. So none of the buffs, the attack buffs, the extra damage, none of this is taken into consideration at all, and this is subject to change as this can be improved. And we're already going into 4.2. We're actually like 2 to 3 days into 4.2. 4.3 is until like December, so we got plenty of time. Okay, now I'm making this very clear. Navia is a main DPS at C0. She's not like a support or a sub DPS. She can be a sub DPS, but at C0, she is a main DPS. So this is something that's going to be really happy and really cool for those who want to be Navia mains. I'm really excited for you. Now, we're going to get into more information about her constellations in another video, but it's just common knowledge. More constellations means that she's more of a main DPS and she's very strong. Now, here's the important thing to understand with Navia. The more Geo reactions you have, the more damage you will deal. So, when it comes to dealing damage, Navia, I mean, even though we've spoken about how she can absorb the crystals from the, the crystallized reactions, they give buffs because obviously you get the 20% and you get the 40% based on if it's Pyro, Cryo, Electro, Hydro. We already understand that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is her supports are going to be important, so make sure that Navia can do the most damage she can with that umbrella as well as her elemental burst. Now, someone who comes into mind that can do a lot of damage and help her is Albedo. Now, Albedo will help with doing consistent reactions with his elemental skill. Because, you know, he's got a large AoE and he does a lot of reactions. So that's going to help proc those crystallized shards on the floor and help Navia be able to suck them and absorb them so she can output the damage she needs to do. Now, one could say, why not do Zhongli? Zhongli, yeah, you can use him because he obviously has better triggers when it comes to his elemental skill. Obviously, you put his pillar down and it reacts and it creates shards. The problem is, though, you could argue that Albedo has better, more consistent damage and more consistent proccing with his elemental skill, because obviously it hits multiple times. So it kind of pushes people away from using Zhongli as a shielder, and it allows you to use more creative, fun ways of, you know, having a Geo support other than Guru. And I personally don't think Guru is a very good support for Navia whatsoever. I would lean away from Guru in my opinion. Now, the way you would do this team and set it up for this red shred, because obviously you're going to want Geo Resonance. You have Hydro Resonance with Hu Tao Vape, Double Hydro, Hu Tao Zhongli, or whatever if you want to use Layla. You want Geo Resonance to obviously get the red shred and have the stronger, you know, the defense. Oh, you know what I mean. I'm not going to explain Geo Resonance, but that is one thing you want to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to other characters that are going to help, you want characters that are going to heal and create reactions. Now, a character that comes to mind who recently just came out was Charlotte. Now, Charlotte is a healer, and one thing that's going to be an awesome pick with Charlotte is being able to freeze and shatter. So, I'm thinking Farina, Navia, Charlotte, and Albedo would be a really, really nice team to have with your Geo reactions. You're able to freeze, you shatter, create crystallized reactions with Albedo, and then sucking them in with Navia. That sounds like a really cool way of playing Genshin. I'm not gonna lie, sounds really cool. Now, if you did get C6 Charlotte, that's awesome. You have an insane support. You've got a solid cryo support as well, but again, she's a catalyst user, so she's gonna be doing those reactions, and she's gonna be doing those cryo shields on the not shields, those shards on the floor. And you have Farina, who's got her elemental skill where she has her 3 summons, and they'll be proccing and creating hydro crystallized reactions. Now, another character that comes to mind that will definitely consider helping Navia, and I think she may be a solid support, is Cheruz. Now, so Cheruz, as we've seen drip marketed as well, as I spoke in the previous video, she helps create and focus on overload reactions, and she also heals. But I don't really know if you guys want me to talk about her kit. For example, she can have a aim down sight with her gun, and she has grenade stuff. I'm not going to go too much into it and about her passives and stuff, but we're mostly focusing on Navia. I think she'll be a really great support with Navia, being able to have those electro and pyro reactions. So, you know, you might have Kuki, or you might have Cheruz, because she's pyro, and you might have Albedo, and you might have Navia as well. So it depends, you can mix and match, depends who you want to go for. However, there is an upcoming 5-star Geo support who is rumoured to be releasing in 4.5. We don't know anything about her, don't know anything about how she can support Geo, but all we know is that she's a 5-star Geo support coming in the future. So she will be a very nice addition and hopefully help out with Navia dealing more damage. Now, the reason why I mentioned Kuki is obviously her healing isn't the greatest when it comes to certain things, especially if you have Farina with her HP drain, but you got the 40% attack boost when it comes to reacting and getting those crystallized shards, as I mentioned, when you have people who are pyro, electro, cryo, or hydro, the shards drop on the floor. So overall, Navia is looking like a really, really good character. I'm not gonna lie to you, she is very tempting because I recently summoned for Farina, but I'm convinced and I'm looking forward to maybe seeing more stuff for Navia within her kit in the future. Do I think she's a solid pickup for free to play? I don't know, but I definitely think she changes the way how Geo works. Not like reaction wise, but like playstyle. Instead of doing the whole, you know, normal attack and random shit, she tries out something completely different. Doesn't focus on defense percent. She focuses on attack, focuses on absorbing shit, and focuses on just creating reactions, which is awesome. And she's actually utilizing those reactions rather than just having, oh, Geo shard on the floor. Oh, what do I do with this? Do I get a temporary shield? No, Navia uses those and she utilizes it in her gun. So I think that's really, really cool. Anyways, that's enough of me talking. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do consider dropping a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. It's Beanie Boy. Peace.